I'm kind of curious about this one because I don't know. I've not heard this. I've not heard this singer in a long time. Yeah, let's do the first one. We'll do the one from a day ago.
Yui, one of Japan's most legendary Annie singers.
When was the last time we had a Yui opening? Mal Yui. Oh, no, we had a couple of recent ones. Okay, so she just disappeared for like 15 years. she did a Bleach opening, FMA, then like 2017 did another song, and then just fucking vanished.
But growing up in a single-parent, poverty-driven household, misdiagnosed with lung cancer and told she only had a year to live, panicked.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Disorders. A divorce and 4 children are just some of the struggles she has been through in life. Yui was born in Koga, Fukuoka, and had quite an unfortunate childhood. She doesn't remember ever having a father and grew up alone with her mother. Due to this, they lived in poverty and her mother often had to work late nights to even keep the family alive, leaving Yui to eat cup noodles by herself as meals all the time. Despite this rocky childhood, there was one magical thing Yui got from her mother, music. She and her mother loved music, and in middle school, Yui started writing a notebook of diary-styled poems that sounded like song lyrics, and she loved it. She was particularly inspired by Avril Lavigne's debut album, Let Go, as they were a similar age.
Oh my god. I've not heard the name Avril Lavigne in a long time.
At the time, but Avril was doing something so much cooler. Still, life wasn't very nice to her. After entering high school, she was finally legally allowed to work, and immediately started grinding to support the family and to cover her own high school tuition, to the point where she was barely getting any sleep. Let me tell you, $5 an hour only gets you so far. This was too much for Yui, and she eventually collapsed and was hospitalized. While being examined, she received some very grim news. She had been diagnosed with lung cancer and was told by doctors that she only had 1 year left to live. This would be distraughting news to anyone, enough to break anyone,
especially
but
a teenager.
It solidified a choice in Yui. She decided that if she only had a year left, then she would just do whatever she wanted to with whatever time she had left.
Yeah.
After being discharged from the hospital, she dropped out of high school and pursued her dream of music. That's it.
You might as well. Fuck, yeah, if you're told you're gonna die in a year, fucking who cares about high school? Don't give a shit. I have dreams, I have desires, I don't have time for this bullshit. Fuck, yeah, you know what? I feel like a lot of people would just crawl up into a ball and do nothing, but like, if you're driven and you have something you've always wanted to do, there's no better time to do it.
She had no idea where to start. The first step she took was just randomly talking to street performing bands. One called Bianconlo, who recommended her the local music school Ongakujuku Voice, where she enrolled to learn guitar and songwriting. She wrote her first original song, Why Me? I think that says something about her life, and began performing on the streets of my hometown street Tenjin, Fukuoka, while also giving school performances. She was musically talented. I mean, look at the list of instruments she can play. This was the beginning of the rise of Yui. Wait, but what about the diagnosis? The 1 year to live? Yeah, so after going back to the hospital for a checkup of her condition, they found that what she suffered from was pneumonia and not lung cancer.
Still not good, okay? You don't exactly want pneumonia. But pneumonia is a bit more treatable than terminal lung cancer. Just a tiny little bit more treatable than terminal lung cancer.
How they fucked this up, I have no idea. Yo, imagine the lawsuits you'd get in America. But hey, I don't think she was complaining about not having cancer at this point. On the recommendation of someone connected to her music school, she applied to the prestigious Sony Music Group, SD Audition. Sony Music Group is one of, if not Japan's largest music labels. So you can only imagine how competitive this was. Out of the 20,000 applicants, she managed to reach the final stage where the top 10 and performed in front of judges, and the judges gave her a full score, 100% A+. After that, several of Sony's internal label groups were literally fighting to take her, and she finally ended up in GR8. Great. At only 17 years old, in 2005, Yui made her major debut with the single Feel My Soul, a theme song to a TV drama, which is crazy for a debut. Everything was a spike upwards from there. The next few years were single after single and hit after hit. Many of her songs being TV drama, film theme songs, and yes, anime songs, including a Bleach OP and ED. Keep in mind, some of these were not small films. Some made over 1 billion yen, with Yui featured as the main theme singer. And she just kept growing. Her albums would hit #1 on the Oricon charts. She won the Newcomer/Rookie Award at the 30th Japan Academy Prize only 2 years after debut. And finally, in that very same year, she performed at the Japan Budokan, Japan's most...
Oh my god! What a meteoric rise from lung cancer that turns out to be pneumonia to like a few years later doing Bleach openings and performing at Budokan. Holy shit!
legendary stage most musicians dream of performing on, only less than 3 years after debut. I think if you look at this list, you can see how much on the grind she was, which is why in 2008, she had to announce a hiatus to recharge her creative juices because she was presumably extremely burnt out. The break was short-lived though, and her return was legendary. A consecutive 5 #1 on Oricons in a row, including one of her biggest hits and one of anime's most iconic songs, again.
What a fucking banger this song is.
It sold 110,000.
Like, Full Metal, it's just in general is a fucking banger series. I know people like to oversell. Like people are like, ooh, greatest anime ever made. Like I don't know, maybe. Who knows? What I will say is Brotherhood is a fucking amazing series. Whether or not it's the greatest thing ever made, I don't know and I don't care. I don't really think there's any reason to like spend time trying to like rank different series. But at the same time, it is really good.
It sold 110,000 CD copies in the first week. For some context, nowadays, 10,000 CD sales is considered a lot for a big seiyuu or anime series. She had fucking made it and didn't stop there. She was on the grind again, even going overseas to perform in Hong Kong, which was an incredible feat for a Japanese artist before anime and Japan in general got as popular as it did today. I don't think people nowadays, myself included, can even understand how big she was back then, especially in the anime sphere. FMAB was essentially the pillar of anime for a long time. She was everywhere.
That was a good time. That was a great time. Can we go back to that time? Can we can we get back to that time where everyone was like, guys, you know what Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, watch Brotherhood, watch Death Note, watch what else were people saying back then? Those were like the main like hyper everyone should watch it series. Obviously, people who actually had taste would also say things like go watch Haruhi, but you know, that's not, the normies are never going to say that. But that was like the, that was a good time. That was a good time for anime. Now it's like, go watch Demon Slayer, go watch My Hero, go watch Jujutsu Kaisen. They're all good series, don't get me wrong. They're all good series. But at the same time, it's like, I would like to go back to this time. That was a good time for me.
But all things have to come to an end, as in November 2012, Yui personally wrote a handwritten message announcing a hiatus, which eventually ended in the complete disbandment of the activities of Yui. The explained reason was the constant friction in the production process and the Yui persona growing larger than herself, which was uncomfortable and hoped fans would understand. She said it got so bad to the point where she almost couldn't sing. This is just my observation, since a lot of what she said was very vague, but based on her origins, music must have been something very personal to her. I mean, it's something she chased when she had nothing left in life. So my guess would be something along the lines of her music being commercialized into money-making products under the Yui brand, and this causing friction with management. But again, just an observation. I have no evidence. Yui would not go out without a bang though, because alongside the finale of Yui came her greatest feat, an NHK Kohaku.
Why is so different is modern anime targeting tourists. I think the difference now is anime is just so accessible. That's the difference, right? If you wanted to watch anime in the early 2000s, you had to pirate it. So at a bare minimum, that like filtered out a lot of people. Now you can watch these series on Crunchyroll and Netflix and fucking Hulu and Disney and all these different things. So like, it doesn't matter which streaming service you're on, you're going to be exposed to anime. Whereas back then, like, you had to legitimately seek it out. If you want to go back even further, like, you had to legitimately seek out, like, DVDs and VHS tapes, and that made it even harder. There are people that when I started watching anime didn't like how easy it was to access it back then. So there's always this, like, oh, the new generation has it so easy now. But I do think at this point, it's become too mainstream, and people who have zero interest in anime will have watched something like a Demon Slayer or My Hero or something like that. I would like to go back to a time where things were just at least a tiny bit niche, so I didn't have to deal with the opinions of random fucking people who have no interest in anime.
Debut. Japan's yearly national New Year's Eve music program, literally watched by half the fucking nation. It was a sign that she had made it and was going out at her peak. Of course, just going out as Yui, because only several months later, she announced a band she was starting called Flower Flower and would be performing under her new name, Yui. No, like all lower cases, like Discord kind
different
of.
Yui.
You
Yep,
get
yep,
it. Flower
sure.
Flower was very different from Yui. In their first year of activity, they only did one digital release, alongside one commercial and some live performances here and there. No CD release or anything. I don't even have numbers to compare their performance. They took it decently slow, possibly because she was still burned the hell out. I'm not sure if it's related, but before they did anything big, Yui announced next year that she had been officially diagnosed with a panic disorder, a mental health condition characterized by recurrent unexpected panic attacks with sudden surges of fear or anxiety. This led to the cancellation of a huge planned performance at Saitama Super Arena, and more, and intended or not, would begin the downfall of Yui's career. Flower Flower continued releasing new music, but did not perform live again until 2017. The reason? Yui was getting married and having kids. She officially announced in 2015 that she had married a non-celebrity man and gave birth to twins. It was supposed to be a very happy event where everyone celebrated, and it was a very understandable reason to take some time off.
Sure,
Pregnancy and having kids is a big deal and a big commitment. It was only in mid-2017, about 2 years later, where Flower Flower's activities would continue on a large scale, alongside a divorce announcement by Yui.
Jesus Christ. Right, okay.
Citing differences in values. Yui took full custody of her twins and
Okay, right. I got to show some good ones from you and Robertson. I've noticed a quality difference. I'm glad I got away from action to explore the other genre. There is so much else out there besides just, like, battle shonen stuff. There is so many amazing series out there. And this is what I mean, right? Like, people who had taste back then would recommend something like Haruhi, right? There are these amazing series out there that so many people ignore because the only thing they watch... It's like the gun and ball gamers, right? It is actually the exact same thing as the gun and ball gamers. The people who won't play a video game if there is not a gun or there is not a ball. It's the same thing with like very mainstream anime fans. If it is not a battle shonen series, a lot of people just won't even touch it and have no idea what the medium actually has to explore.
was now left a single working mother, a shadow of what her childhood was like. Her relationship with her ex-husband, including stuff like child custody, are unclear, as Yui has never spoken of it. Even after such a long break and years of no lives and barely any new releases, Flower Flower still managed to do several nationwide tours and performed at God knows how many music festivals, all showing the power of Yui's name brand. But only a year later, in 2018, Yui announced a remarriage to a personal trainer at a gym, and had 2 more kids, making 4
Jesus Christ! How many kids do you want?
kids in total, all in Shinzo Abe's name. She kept up the music activities for a while, and she was busy all the way until COVID hit. And for the first time in 8 years, Yui appeared on the legendary channel, The First Take, and performed under her original name, Yui. This legendary piece, though, would be one of Yui's final triumphs in her career. 2020's COVID cancelled a nationwide tour and most of their IRL activities, leaving them to stream most of their concerts online. But then Flower Flower's keyboardist quit at the end of 2020. There were still a few lives after that, but after 2021, suddenly came radio silence. The circumstances behind everything are unknown, but Yui and Flower Flower essentially just kind of stopped. After one performance in 2022, I mean, look at their wiki. Twitter and Instagram activity has vanished off the earth. There was never any official announcement of them disbanding or even taking a hiatus or anything. To my knowledge, the entire band hasn't said anything about it either, and fans are just left to assume they're on some indefinite hiatus, not knowing if—
I guess it was probably just like it probably wasn't like a major falling out, probably just like a difference of opinions. Somebody wanted to do something, someone else wanted to do something else, and it just made more sense to go the other, like, just split apart.
they will ever come back. It's been almost 5 years, and I can only assume that she's kind of done with her career and wants to dedicate her time to raising her 4 kids, but nobody knows. Some may call Yui's career a downfall. I mean, even Flower Flower only ever received a fraction of the attention Yui ever did at her prime, but I think it was by choice. Every single time, she chose to quit, and I see her story as one who has accomplished everything she has wanted to and had no more desire to go further. It's crazy to think that she only ever had the balls to go down this path because of a misdiagnosed lung cancer, and many horrible things happened along the way. But I think Yui should be proud, both of what she's done and the iconic legend she's brought to the anime community. Special thanks to Vicente Bogani and all my other patrons.
That was fun. I always like Red Joker stuff. I didn't know where this was gonna go over time. It seems like she's still doing some... Okay, so I was confused about something. She's done some lyrical work over the past couple of years. She did lyrics for one of the Maka-ine endings and lyrics for one of the Alia-san endings as well. Not performing. My bad on that one. And some composition for one of those. So it seems like she's stepped away from the limelight of the production and is more just focusing on sort of like doing a bit of work here and there on something that she enjoys, I guess. And if anyone she knows wants some support with something, it seems like she's been like helping out with other people she knows, I guess. Yeah, that seems to be where this has gone. Okay. I know, I always enjoy the Red Joker stuff. Red Joker's always a lot of fun, so that was also a lot of fun. Oh god, what is this?